Along the banks of the Nooksack River, just blocks from downtown Ferndale, Washington, is historic Pioneer Park. It's here you'll find log cabins built by the early pioneers of Whatcom County and relocated to this site near the same kind of tree from which they were created, the magnificent western red cedar. Good evening and welcome to Red's Classic Theater. We'll show you more of Pioneer Park near Ferndale, Washington throughout the evening. Our movie this week stars John Wayne in a rough and tumble role that fans of the Duke had grown to expect in the 1950 movie Rio Grande, directed by John Ford and featuring Maureen O'Hara. This film marked the 8th time Wayne and Ford had worked together. A new face in the film was one belonging to Ben Johnson. Director Ford plucked him from the ranks of stuntmen to co-star in the picture. Now here's Act 1 of Rio Grande, starring John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. I hope you're enjoying Rio Grande on Red's Classic Theater. Like our movie, the spirit of the Old West is alive and well at Pioneer Park in Ferndale, Washington. Here in the park, 10 log cabins built by the early settlers of Whatcom County have been preserved. The Old Settlers Association of Whatcom County is responsible for saving these rustic pioneer homes from destruction. One by one, over the decades, each of these log homes was painstakingly moved from its original location to this site at Pioneer Park. Among the homes available to view are the Parker House, the Foster House, the Granary, the Shields House, the Holman House, and the county's first church. Each one is crammed with homesteading implements of the past and nostalgic memorabilia. We'll be back with more in just a moment. One of the most anticipated events here in the park is the annual Whatcom County Pioneer Picnic, the oldest celebration of its kind in the entire state. This summer festival of fun has been held every year since 1896. It's open to all Whatcom County settlers and visitors. And this year's celebration takes place July 22nd through 26th, right here at Pioneer Park. For information, call 384-1866. That's 384-1866. And now let's return to Rio Grande, starring John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. Hope you're enjoying the 1950 Western Rio Grande on Red's Classic Theater. This movie was the third part of John Ford's tribute to the U.S. Cavalry. Not only did it again star John Wayne, it featured characters whose names were used in the other two cavalry movies. Like Rio Grande, the 1948 movie Fort Apache, and the 1949 movie She Wore a Yellow Ribbon, both also had a character named Kirby York and supporting players named Trooper Tyree and Sergeant Quinn Cannon. A mistake occurred when publicity photos were taken for newspaper ads promoting Rio Grande. If you check the photos, you'll see that John Wayne is clean-shaven, but in the movie, filmed several months later, he wears a bushy mustache and a small goatee. To provide musical interludes, members of the famous Western group the Sons of the Pioneers were cast as troopers. That group, originally formed by Roy Rogers, included a singer by the name of Ken Curtis. He went on to appear as a regular in the role of Festus on the fabled Gunsmoke TV series. Now back to Rio Grande, featuring Ben Johnson and Harry Carey Jr. Well, here in beautiful Pioneer Park, it's time to look at our mailbag, and I want to thank you for the letters you continue to send in. Some recent requests. Millie Brown from Texada Island, BC, would like to see Now Voyager. It starred Betty Davis and Claude Rains. Laura Turner from North Vancouver requested any films featuring Greer Garson, including Mrs. Parkington and Valley of Decision. If you have a motion picture you'd like to see or the suggestion of location, we'd like to hear from you. As a matter of fact, I was in a restaurant in Vancouver the other day and someone sent a request over to my table on a napkin. We'll take them in any form. Write to Red Robinson, KVUS TV in Vancouver. That's Red Robinson, KVUS TV in Vancouver. Coming up next week, Clint Eastwood stars as the man with no name in A Fistful of Dollars. This is the film that made him an international star. Also next week, your chance to win movie passes to the premiere of Clint Eastwood's new Western, Unforgiven. It opens in August, and the film also features Gene Hackman, Richard Harris, and Morgan Freeman. That's coming up next week on Red's Classic Theater. And now, back to Rio Grande. Hope you're enjoying tonight's presentation of Rio Grande as we visit Pioneer Park in Ferndale. Maureen O'Hara's appearance in tonight's film marked the second time that she acted in a film directed by John Ford. Her first appearance was in Ford's sensitive 1941 Welsh drama, How Green Was My Valley. She made her movie debut in Alfred Hitchcock's Jamaica Inn. And then came her first starring role with Charles Laughton in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. O'Hara's stunning beauty, highlighted by fiery red hair and green eyes, made her the queen of Technicolor during her tenure in Hollywood. And besides our movie tonight, Maureen O'Hara also played the romantic interest of John Wayne in 3 other films: The Quiet Man, McClintock, and Big Jake. She was just last year talked out of her 20-year retirement from films to play John Candy's mom in the comedy Only the Lonely. And now back to Maureen O'Hara starring with John Wayne in Rio Grande. From beautiful Pioneer Park in Ferndale, Washington, time for our movie trivia quiz. Although totally entertaining, Westerns are bad vehicles if you want to win an Academy Award for Best Actor. As a matter of fact, only 3 actors have ever won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Western movie. Can you name the actors? We'll be back with the answer in just a moment. Here's the answer to our trivia question. Only 3 actors have ever won the Oscar for Best Actor in a Western. And they are Gary Cooper for High Noon, Lee Marvin for Cat Ballou, and John Wayne for True Grit. And now, Pilgrim, let's return to John Wayne in Rio Grande. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Red's Classic Theater. I hope you enjoyed Rio Grande. Now be sure to join us next Sunday night for another Western adventure as Clint Eastwood stars in A Fistful of Dollars. And for the chance for you to win passes to Clint Eastwood's brand new Western, Unforgiven. In the meantime, if there's a motion picture you'd like to see, or the suggestion of a location like beautiful Pioneer Park, write to Red Robinson, KBUS TV in Vancouver. We'd like to take this opportunity of thanking Chet Speciale and the Old Settlers Association here in Ferndale, Washington, for hosting our show this week. Don't forget their annual picnic coming up here in the park starting July 22nd. For more information, call 384-1866. And join us next Sunday night at Red's Classic Theater for Clint Eastwood in A Fistful of Dollars. Until then, from Pioneer Park, thank you for being with us, and good night, everybody.